Hi, and welcome back to the Cheeky Crypto podcast. My name's Chris, and I'm joined by none other than JB on today's podcast. How are you, JB?
What's up, guys? All good here as per always. It's been a fantastic week here at Cheeky Crypto. I think, the last weeks I've really settled in, and, we've seen the likes of the traders chat, the members chat's been popping off. I've been really happy with everything that's going on there. A lot of the community talking with me back and forward, talking about trades, a few good trades going on. I've seen a lot of folk taking profits. So, I don't think we've had much of a better week in recent memory.
Yeah, I'd say yeah, it's been really buzzing in the Discord. A lot of new members recently joined up to Patreon, which is fantastic. And yeah, it's great to see some new faces in the Discord, and yeah, some successful trades and a lot more trades than we had before. Obviously, the teams increased again in size. And this is, huge benefit to everybody that, is following Cheeky Crypto and part of the membership, I guess.
Definitely. I mean, I encourage you guys, when you see me on the Discord in green, mention me, talk to me. You've got a trade going on, you want to have a quick look at, what's going on. I'm more than happy to help and I have the time. I know there's obviously going to be times when it's super busy, lots of charts to get through, and it may take me a little bit of time to look at it, but I'm more than happy to help you guys out. I want to see everybody making profits. We've seen some trades, I know a few of you have been in with myself, like the 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 trade, the near trade, two in particular. We've seen really good returns on them. But I want to quickly crack us into this weekend, and it's a very special one that's just been, and it was the Super Bowl. Hence why I've got my throwback Giants jersey on. And for anybody that is into the NFL will understand why I'm wearing this jersey. And obviously this was the season that Odell Beckham Jr. made that catch. And if you don't know what it is, go on YouTube and watch Odell Beckham Jr.'s catch versus the Dallas Cowboys in 2014 at the MetLife Stadium. The single best catch, in my opinion, in NFL history.
Yeah, I didn't get the postcard. I would have worn one. I would have had to have gone and bought one. But
listen, this Super Bowl, this is a mega Super Bowl. Just to quickly crack this down, it's the first time in history that there's been two black quarterbacks playing in the Super Bowl final, obviously in the championship here, and it's obviously during Black History Month. So this is massive on so many levels. It is probably one of the biggest Super Bowls in history. I cannot wait to watch it. I know when you're listening to this podcast, it's already been. So is it, who's going to win? Who's going to win the Super Bowl this year? Eagles or the Chiefs?
I'm going to randomly put my finger in the air and say Chiefs.
Well, yeah, the Chiefs probably, because Mahomes has had a great season. But I think he's struggling with a little bit of an ankle injury. So, we'll see how this plays out and see the comments below as to who won.
Yeah, be set. Yeah, I love all these sorts of things. I think it's great. If you are one of the Patreon members, you will know there's something special to keep your eyes out, look on the lookout for, if I can get my words out today. So yeah, look, I'm really interested to see in the member section of the Discord whether anybody was successful, and I'll leave it there. But yeah, members know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, very, very exciting. Adverts for a change for the Super Bowl. It's not usually the adverts you watch it for, but yeah.
Yeah, it's potentially life-changing.
I would say so. I mean,
yeah,
let's be honest, it's going to be a great game. Rihanna at halftime, it's going to be spectacular for one reason or another. But the adverts, especially this year, they'll be very good.
Yeah, and we had lots of ads, crypto-related ads last time round. It's going to be interesting to see how different it is this time round with, some of those companies no longer in existence, right?
Yeah, definitely. So we'll roll it on here. We'll not hang about today, guys. We've got a lot on, and we are streaming in a couple of hours' time. So we'll batter through this today, and we'll jump into the market. Most notably here, I want to look at Bitcoin, and we are down 5% there or thereabout in the last week. This was another pullback that was expected. If you are tuning in to the streams in the morning with Nick and Chris, you will know fine well that this was expected. Now, there was a pullback during the week. I didn't expect it to be that reason, but it did happen. And this was obviously surrounding what, Chris?
This was the staking stuff from the SEC, right?
Yeah, everything cracking. I didn't expect it to affect the market as much as it did. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, like if I go back in time a little bit and consider Nexo had the same thing pretty much, I didn't see any sort of like big, I'm not even going to say big, sizable pullback, like what we've just seen for Kraken. But yeah, look, I think the SEC are just trying to be more vocal about the moves that they're making more recently, as if like it's different to anything that they've done previously. Ultimately, I think they've done a terrible job. I don't disagree with what they're saying in this scenario when it comes to Kraken. If what they've said after the fact is true, that they could just go through the right channels and have the right disclosures, it just seems odd that they would close it down. Why not just have the disclosures if it's that simple? If it's just as simple as registering and making sure you get the sign off with with the disclosures, then why are the Kraken closing it down? So obviously I'm not looking at it from a legal standpoint. It's not my background, but yeah, I am scratching my head a little bit with that. But it doesn't really impact like the actual cryptocurrency staking, where you're working together to mint a block and then getting rewards for minting that block. It's a little bit different when it comes to the centralized exchanges. They could have yield, they could be utilizing your crypto. Ultimately, they're custodying your crypto as well, where you're not having that with, say, Cardano, for example. It's self-custody staking. So yeah, it's interesting. I think it's the market's overreacted to it.
Yeah, definitely. But in a nutshell, it's just the SEC doing a terrible job, as the SEC like to do. So yeah, back at the market here, what we're sitting on a 1.02 trillion market cap. We have pulled back significantly, in my opinion. I think maybe this time last week, we're about 1.07 or 1.09. So yeah, it's been quite a sizable pullback. And in this pullback, we have seen the Fear and Greed Index move back to a completely neutral position. We are at 50 on the Fear and Greed Index. I like to see this because this shows the market does not know which way it is going by fear and greed in the space. Personally, I think they're going to go on another little surge here. I don't think we've seen the end of this pump. My opinion may not be accurate, but purely my opinion on that, I do think we're going to see a little bit more gains to come. So yeah, watch out in the Discord this week, because there'll be a few trade ideas going up, I do expect.
Yeah, I mean, I put out a video on the main channel yesterday saying that I think, and this isn't in the short term, I think we're going to see a new lower low for Bitcoin. I'm
going to back you up there as well, because I do not think we've seen enough pain. I don't think this bear market's been long. It's been quite hard, but I don't think it's been a proper bear market yet. And that may sound absolutely bonkers to say. We've had the FTX drama and everything else that's happened. I just do not feel that this has been scary enough, has been fierce enough, has been ferocious enough. I can't run out of enough adjectives here. I don't think it's been painful enough to, quantify a proper bear market. I don't think enough's happened yet, and a lot's happened, and I still don't think it's been enough.
Yeah, I kind of align with that. I'm really looking from the macro aspect of things, what's happening around the world. I think we've got one more big sizable pullback, which will be the bottom, and then we will ride our way into the sunset after that, into the next bull run. So yeah, it's interesting, because like I look at the other channels, and I'm not really seeing a lot of people say this. I'm seeing a lot of people saying, bull market. Even some bearish channels have turned bullish, and I think they did that too early. This, has been fantastic to take profits, and Nick and myself have taken some profits off the table. We were buying lower at points, but we've taken some profits, and that's what bear market rallies are for.
Definitely cannot agree more. I told you, I think I told a lot of members in the community as well, via the Discord. I've also took profits. I took really great profit on Singularity. I'm still holding my AGIX bag, because I do expect another surge there. So swing trade wise, I've still got those swing trades there. I'm ready to to pull the trigger on when I hit the certain number that I'm expecting through the week. Again, just to push this again, that I am pushing trade in the charts into the Discord. Members are coming back talking about it. We're bouncing ideas around, and I won't tell you what I've done this week. I've done a great percentage this week. I know a few other guys in the Discord have too. So, you know, guys, jump on up there into the trader chat, get talking, getting these trades. Tell us what trade you're in as well. I love to know these things.
Yeah, it's great engagement, and I think it's important that, you know, you're around people that, you know, have got a similar mindset and are trying to achieve very similar things.
Definitely.
For sure. So let's talk about PayPal, just moving from like the SEC and that side of things. It looks like they're putting their stablecoin project on hold, right? I think this is mainly down to the I guess investigation into Paxos. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, I think it's a bit of a wild goose chase, the whole Paxos SEC investigation. Out of everyone in the space, the last people that I would be investigating would be Paxos. They're ran out of New York. They are probably, tell me if I'm wrong here, but they're probably the most regulated company, we'll call them a company right now, in the space. I don't know of anyone more regulated than Paxos. So I'm very confused as to why they're investigating them.
Yeah, I think yeah, like you said there, regulated out of New York, solid team, and I just can't see it. I think this is more an agenda against Binance than it really is something to do with Paxos. But you know, stranger things have happened, right? Like, but I just can't see Paxos risking their business for Binance's business. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, the whole thing around me, it kind of comes full circle. So it's been investigated. It's regulated out of the state of New York, but it's the New York Department of Financial Services that's investigating them. So does this not then, if something has happened here with Paxos, does this not then fall back on the folk that are investigating themselves for what's happened? Do you know what I mean? This is why I'm so confused, but it feels like it's coming back round full circle that the New York Department of Financial Services are investigating Paxos, who they regulate.
Yeah, I kind of feel like regulators shouldn't need to be doing investigations of people that they are regulating. As mad as that sounds, I kind of feel like you should do the legwork up front. You should make sure they're compliant. There should be measures in place or processes in place over said period of, you know, time on a, you know, reoccurring schedule, I guess. That means that you can't get people deviating away from what is and isn't regulated. And if they do, you just shut them off at that point, or you fine them. I don't really feel like regulators should have to investigate and probe, and this stuff just to me, and this will go against the narrative and the grain, I guess. I kind of feel that they've got failures. The regulators are at fault here. They're at fault because the leaderships of these regulators are just not fit to do the job, and I feel that they can't give clarity, so won't give clarity, and I just don't see the processes there that should be there. That's kind of my thoughts on it all. You know, there should be clarity. You should start with that first, and like I say, you should build, you know, processes to safeguard people, which is part of some of these regulators' mission statements that they wrote, not us. They wrote them, but they don't seem to abide by them, which is crazy in my eyes.
Yeah, we'll stick a pin in regulators just now. We'll maybe come back to that a little bit, but I'm going to pull us back onto PayPal here, because obviously there's a little bit more news came out about PayPal. You know, quite bullish news as well. So PayPal have held $604 million worth of customers' crypto in the year of 2022. So to me, that's great. It shows PayPal's heavily getting involved with this. This is something I want to see more of. I'd like to see more possibly getting held there. Maybe not the best way of holding crypto. We talk about this regularly, getting it into cold storage. You guys know the script by now, ledgers, everything else. You know the script. But yeah, what do you make of this, Chris? Crypto being held with PayPal, $604 million worth.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good for adoption of cryptocurrency. I feel that they made some changes so you could, withdraw and onboard rather than just having it in their PayPal ecosystem. So I think that's a positive. There's a lot of banks at the moment that are looking to shut down access to cryptocurrency. I don't think they're going to shut down access to PayPal. So it's going to be interesting to see whether people pivot from exchanges to perhaps PayPal. Something that I could see happening. Also, something I guess unrelated but kind of related as well is some of these banks that are I guess supporting crypto are now being sort of cut off from being able to conduct business. It's not everywhere, but it's just pockets of areas around the world. So it would be interesting to see whether that's something that continues and where PayPal sit in amongst all of that.
I do tend to agree with this as well. Just to kind of go into this a little bit deeper here. So we've seen the likes of Australia. Australia are pushing crypto heavily right now. I don't think that's undeniable. And then Brazil's another one right now that we keep an eye on. Brazil are now allowing citizens to pay their taxes with crypto. I've never seen that happening so quickly. I think that's huge. And, is that adoption? Is this the start of adoption that we want to be seeing? That you can physically pay the taxes that you're due to the government using crypto? I think that's fantastic. I'd love to pay my taxes with crypto, I tell you that. And I'm assuming quite a lot of folk listening right here would also like to pay for their tax bill using crypto.
Yeah, there probably is. I mean, I'm not in that crowd. For me, I just want to hodl it and come out with some good profits at the end of each bull market. But yeah, look, I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see how this adoption curve changes over the next sort of 4 years, 5 years, because we are seeing the banks integrating their CBDCs. We're seeing some even go live. Some are going to be going live very shortly, and they're integrating with crypto wallets and potentially even exchanges. So you see all this narrative with Binance, but I think they're going to be well connected with some of the CBDC issuers. Yeah. So yeah, look, don't always believe what you're seeing in the media. And on that note of media, it's rather interesting. There's quite a lot of writers for some of these media outlets. I'm not going to mention any names, but they don't know a damn thing about crypto, but they're writing crypto related articles. So yeah, just be aware of this stuff, because it's rather interesting and not surprising either. I think I highlighted a Forbes article which was clearly written weeks ago, but released on a day that the market had tanked. And it was basically the headline was something along the lines of, why is the crypto market pumping right now? And it was like just the completely wrong time to be releasing an article like that. So yeah, it's interesting times.
I do feel you on that one. I feel, obviously, doing the likes of the podcast as well, it's part of our groundwork is to get news articles, read into news articles, so we can relay what we have read and give our thoughts, our feelings, our understanding of the news that's going on. The hardest part is trying to get relevant, factual, accurate news articles. There's so many out there that are absolute FUD. There's so many that come out, as Chris just highlighted, 2-3 weeks too late. So moving forward, I would like to see a better space for news in this world that we're living in. I don't mean like everything that's going on with the likes of Turkey and everything, which is absolutely horrible. I mean what's going on in our space, which is relevant to us. I would like to see, I don't know how to put this so simply, I'd like to see an accurate news place. Do you know what I mean? It's so hard to get accurate, relevant, factual news.
Yeah, it is. And YouTubers get a hard time constantly. pretty much anything that somebody can have a go at you for.
Yeah.
But one thing that they do get called out a lot on is paid endorsements and paid article like videos and segments and stuff like that. But all of these media companies do it.
Yeah, on that note, I don't watch many other YouTubers. I'm fully transparent with that. I do not watch a lot of other people in this space. My take on that is I like to watch a select few, and the main reason behind that was when I started in the space was to not sway my thinking, my thought process, the path I was on. I like to keep that way. Once I've found the way I wanted to be, I like to stay the way I am, and that's hence why I don't watch many YouTubers. But a couple that I do watch, I'm not pulling out names, so there's no point calling them out here. I feel it'd be wrong to do so, but I've pushed a couple of products recently, and they've not disclosed that they're paid promotions, not just products, sorry, projects as well. And they've not disclosed that they're paid promotions. They clearly are. It's anybody watching it can understand they are. So yeah, I'd like to see that brought under a bit more control.
Yeah, for sure. But let's segue into something rather interesting. At least in my eyes, it's interesting.
Did you, by any chance, open up an ancient wallet?
I am looking at an old wallet here. If only, right? Yeah, so an ancient Bitcoin wallet with 412 BTC suddenly has I can't even pronounce that. Rewoken.
Yeah.
It's just basically become active, everybody. Like I can't even say that word. Like, yeah, look, we found a word in the is it even a real word?
It is now. I want you to say it more.
I can't say it. It turns out, like, I can't say it.
Rewoken.
I have to really bloody concentrate, and I'm just not good at that aspect of things.
Yeah, so just to quickly break that down, it's what was the number there? Was it 412 million?
No,
it's 412 Bitcoin.
Yeah,
so it's that 9.6 million. Just
9.6 million. Just a mere 9.6 million.
I was just double checking there on BitGet just to confirm, but it's 9.0. Yeah, it's accurate, 9.6 million. So that'd be nice to have that lying about. I forgot that was lying there. Just to quickly open it up and cash out my 9 milli. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's reactivated after 11 years.
How does anybody do that? Come on. How the hell do you sit on Bitcoin for 11 years and not take profit?
So that could just be somebody that's had it on a laptop and, have only just got their laptop back.
So we're saying, what, 11 years? I'm just going to quickly go back here whilst we're live to get a kind of rough price for what that would have been. So 11 years would have been 2012. First price I come to is
it was 12. It was traded near
$122 was the first I got there.
Yeah, so it comes to Bitcoin has grown to the value over the years. Bitcoin traded near $12.36 around the time that this address purchased its Bitcoin stash.
Wow.
Back in September 2012.
Unbelievable. What a return.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, that's crazy numbers. But that's what we're all here for, right? If you can get into a really decent project really, really early on, this is the sort of stuff that's possible in crypto, right? It's life-changing for some.
100%. I do not deny that. I've done that. I've done myself recently as well. We jumped on Hypercycle. We sat in the AMA, which we got through the Discord. It was all brought to us, being an NFT, a 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏 NFT holder, get access to that. Jumped on Hypercycle. I'm super happy with the position I've got. It's not a monumental position, but you're so early in a product, on the roadmap of that product. I'm mega happy where I've got, and the potentials that could bring back to me within the next 2 years. I'm so happy. You see the likes of this. This has done a monumental run for what this person bought Bitcoin at to cash out at 9.6 million. We can dream, guys. We can dream.
That's it, and you got to be in it to win it, as they say. But moving on, we've got Ripple. I can't teeth in. I can't talk today. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse says US desperately missing crypto regulation leadership. Now he's talking my kind of language amid the SEC clampdown. Is he right, JB? That's the question. Is he aligned with me? Has he been watching the channel? Probably, definitely not.
Yeah, I think that's quite rhetorical. We know the guy's right. I don't know if there's many people in this space that are big fans of Mr. Gensler. I'm certainly not. I don't think I've called him out many times. Yet again, I know Gary Gensler's not watching this channel. If you are, hell, it'd be amazing if you were. Come on here and tell us what you're doing for the space that's good. If Keith wants to snip this and send it to him, I'd be more than happy. Tell us what you've done good for this space, because it's been a big fat zero.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that, and I've said it several times, he needs to look in the mirror, and he probably needs to, sack a lot of the leadership team that are working at the SEC and then resign immediately afterwards, because it's, the stuff that's happened under his leadership, it should not be acceptable.
Yeah, but just to quickly list this off here. So Garlinghouse's fear right now is America, USA are falling behind other major players right now in this space, which is perfectly right. So you've got like sort of Australia doing wonderful things with crypto over there. The UK, we've seen the Bank of England launch the CBDC, the UAE, South Africa, Brazil, the list goes on here, and they're all, pushing towards the adoption of crypto, CBDCs, everything else, blockchain technology. So, yeah, I totally 100% agree with Brad Garlinghouse here. I think that, if they don't act on it, then they're going to be left behind. And that's scary to think. America, a big major player in this space, that will be felt that they will be left behind these other countries.
Yeah, I kind of feel that it is purely down to the fact that they are the world reserve currency right now. And I think they're trying to cling on to that. But I think the time has come, and they're not going to be able to service their debt.
Yeah.
They're, the people living in the US, their credit card debt is the all-time high. We covered this the other day. They're not going to
debt ceiling. They're trying to push the debt ceiling higher.
Yeah, they're just not going to be able to service it. Even people living in the US, they're not going to be able to service their own debt. They're going to lose their homes. Not everybody, but there's going to be large pockets of people. You've got retailers, overstocked, logistical, supply chain issues, housing crisis, not just in China, but other parts of the world, secondhand car market, like these retailers, secondhand car market, they're going to be overstocked, which means they're going to have to sell at a loss. Too much supply, not enough demand is the situation, and that's going to lead to further job losses. And look, I just don't think the whole situation is a positive one at the minute.
Yeah, I think it is in a bit of a mess, and I'm super happy to see Brad Garlinghouse call them out. Another big player in this space calling out the SEC, and I would like to see more and more of these guys do it. I'd love to see Charles. Obviously, Brad's done it. Who else would you like? Ben Gertzel? Anyone?
Yeah, I just
step up, call them out.
Yeah, I just think that there's a lot more that is needed to be done, and I think it's quite simple to do it, but it's a case of, do you want to do it, and how corrupt the system is. The crypto market at the moment, I think, is just so manipulated.
Yep.
And there's some big players making some big money. And if you don't believe me, go have a look at there's been studies done. You can search it. The Bank of America did a study on how much money it would cost to move the price of Bitcoin. Now, answer me this: why would you do that study? Might you wish to move the price of Bitcoin? And if so, would you? Like,
of course,
the banks are just as bad as an unregulated. Actually, you know what? We need to move away from this term unregulated, self-regulated space that crypto is. I think the banks have just as much issue, if not more, when it comes to money laundering, cartel. There's cartel banks out there. I'm not going to mention names, but we all know who they are, servicing all the money from these gangs over in Mexico and other parts of the world. So yeah, look, even the regulated space is not a beautiful shining light that crypto wishes it could be. And I think, we need some sort of like framework in the crypto space, some oversight of a third party. But there needs to be clarity, needs to be that framework. There needs to be a set of guidelines and processes that, companies go through. So you don't have a FTX scenario in the future. You have a touch base point where you look at the books, for example, and straight up you would know what the hell was going on, instead of finding out after the fact. It's just not good enough. People should not accept it and should demand more. But that's kind of my stance on the whole picture of the lack of regulation.
I don't think we could cover it any more than that. I think Chris kind of summed it up nicely for everyone. I don't think anybody will argue argue with the speech he gave off there. I think it was it's pretty much on point.
I think Gary Gensler would argue it, but I'd love to get him on the channel to argue it with me.
Yeah, let's keep pissing Gary Gensler off. Let's try and piss him off as much as I can, so we can try and get him on, or even a representative of Gary, his secretary, somebody close to him, just something just to get in there.
Because it could very well be that we're just being misled by media, as to what's actually going on. I don't think that is the case, but it doesn't change the fact that what's transpired under his leadership. So yeah, it's one of those. We'll probably leave that there, because like I could go on talk about this all day, because it's just a bugbear of mine. But we've been good at spiraling recently when we've been on chats, even if it's just me and you on calls or on the podcast. We do tend to spiral. So yeah, we'll maybe leave that there. I'm just an old man, JB. I'm just an old man. I'm a grumpy old man. That's what my problem is.
Yeah, I'll say nothing else.
Okay. Let's look to wrap things up. Any last parting words, JB?
Yep. It's obviously a massive weekend there in the US. It's Super Bowl. I hope you guys have watched it. You had a great time. Big Super Bowl again, just to cover it off. First time in history with two black quarterbacks, Black History Month as well. So, it's absolutely fantastic to see. I hope you guys all had a blast if you watched it. If you don't have an interest in the NFL, which I know a lot of people listening probably won't, because they're from this side of the world, I hope you had a great weekend. So yeah, in the Discord, jump into the chats. If you see me green, come on and talk to me. We'll talk trades. There'll be plenty coming out this week. Do not deny that. But yeah, I just hope you guys all had a good weekend and have a good week coming up. If you are going to trade, safe, have a nice tight stop loss, make great gains, stay safe in space, and I'll see you through the week, guys.
Awesome. And yeah, I'll just follow that up with, I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. I hope somebody gets an NFT, and I've probably said too much. Let me know in the Discord whether you do or you don't. Really interested to see whether any of our community managed to get one of those. And yeah, looking forward to chatting with people in the Discord. So yeah, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, listening, subscribing, liking, and all that wonderful stuff. And I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.